The Spare SIM Card Love Rat. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You may be wondering who the bespectacled fellow is staring out at you from the screen. Well, this is the alleged Spare SIM Card Love Rat, who has engaged in some rather naughty behaviour. As you know, I explained to you all of the various facets of narcissism and psychopathy to help you understand why my kind think, function, and operate in the way that we do. As a narcissistic psychopath myself, blessed with considerable insight into what I am, I'm able to tell you about the way that I see the world, but also those of my ilk, both pure psychopaths, narcissistic psychopaths like myself, and pure narcissists. I have a focus on narcissists because they're more prevalent than narcissistic psychopaths and psychopaths. Those are the people that you're more likely to find yourself involved with. And as you know, I have analysed a number of purportedly famous narcissists, and from time to time, I scrutinise a more mundane individual, but who may nevertheless not be any less of a narcissist than his or her famous counterparts. It's helpful in ensuring that you understand that narcissists come in all sizes, shapes, colours, and backgrounds. And of course, what we have is an opportunity here to examine a man who has been accused of a range of behaviours over a particular period of time, but with evidence to boot. This information was sent to me by a handful of valuable viewers, but it also happened to appear across my own social media. I don't use social media in the sense of I never post anything, but I keep a platform, and therefore I do see what other people post. I have it there so that I can utilise it for the purposes of the dissemination of my work. I don't use it in a personal capacity. A lady by the name of Amanda Ockway, and she's perfectly content for her details to be utilised because she has distributed this on Facebook, wrote as follows. So last night, I had a date with a lad I'd been speaking to. Cute, aren't we? Use of emoji. It transpires that she has been corresponding with him on some platform, possibly on Facebook. It didn't say how that came about or who approached who, but it would appear that there was the use of social media as a hunting ground, which is a narcissistic indicator, that there would appear to be repeated messages over a short space of time, which is frequent and incessant messaging, which is a sense of entitlement and poor boundary recognition. She continues, playfully asking me to take pictures with my glasses on, asking to take pictures of us together and send him them, playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the third Jaeger. Here she's referencing that he wanted her to take pictures of the two of them when they were together. Saying my ring will be on a different finger soon, clearly referencing marriage, future faking. Asking if I'm going to take his name or double barrel it, flattery, future faking. His mum knows all about me, apparently, and he's sure she'll love me. Triangulation with person, future faking. He really, really, really likes me. Couldn't keep his hands off me. Overly tactile, lack of boundary recognition. Made plans for when I get back from holiday. Future faking. Asking what I'd do if he got a flight out to Turkey because he's gutted I'm going away. Triangulation, future faking. Love's young dream, aren't we, eh? So he kept asking to get a bottle and go back to mine. Sense of entitlement, insistence. I was like, it's only 8 p.m, let's stay out longer. It's only 9 p.m, let's stay out a bit longer. Accordingly, he's trying to get her to leave the pub that they were in and go back to her place, showing a sense of entitlement, and of course, an apparent desperation to cut the night short from the venue that they were in. I came out of the toilet at 9:30, and my future hubby has disappeared off the face of the earth. Ghosting. I look at WhatsApp, and his account was created the day he asked for my number. I think back to when he asked for my number. I sent it, and he said he'd text me after work, but then continued to message me on Tinder for another 7 hours before he actually texted my number. Accordingly, it now transpires that they appear to have met on Tinder. You know my views about the use of dating sites. You shouldn't use them. Watch my video, Why You Shouldn't Use Online Dating. It is a hunting ground, and this lady has found out to some extent to her cost. Notice that he's asked for the number very quickly, sense of entitlement, and he's continued to message, incessant messaging, sense of entitlement, lack of boundary recognition on Tinder, but had wanted her telephone number but didn't use it. The lady deduces that this gave him time to buy a new fake SIM card. That, she deduces, is because his messages were always on one tick for ages, because he was swapping the SIMs over. Bless his little cotton socks putting all that effort in. So she's worked out that there was a delay initially before he used her number because he went and got a fake SIM card, and then thereafter he was swapping the SIM cards out of his phone to avoid detection, meaning that when she was messaging him, she could see the messages were just staying on one tick for a long time rather than him actually reading them. She then continues by explaining on her Facebook post, "So I decide to turn detective because I'm not being fucked over anymore. I'm looking on Snapchat before at friend suggestions, and there's a Jake, but with a different surname there. So I type it in on Facebook, and there's my boy with his girlfriend and his baby. So this lady, Amanda, turns detective and identifies that this individual, Jake, actually has a girlfriend and a baby, and therefore he was cheating on his girlfriend by chatting up Amanda and going on a date with her. Infidelity, lack of emotional empathy. Now that just can't be, because he gave me a completely detailed and elaborate beginning, middle and end as to why they split up and how she's moved and is happy. He's met the lad a couple of times. He seems sound and the baby likes him. So things just aren't adding up, Jakey baby. He's telling lies, revising history. So obviously that's why he wanted to go back to mine so early, because he had to be home to his missus. So the plan was to come to mine, sleep with me, and then throw the SIM card away and never talk to me again, the little romantic. Shelving behaviour and disengagement. When he realised I wanted to stay out later and he wouldn't have time to do that, he became the ultimate hide-and-seek champion instead. So it looks like I'll be having a different new surname to the one I thought I was having yesterday. He must have just forgotten what his name was, the silly Billy. Now, I would never in a million years usually do this, but unfortunately you picked the wrong girl to mess with. I'm not the girl that used to be silenced anymore, because as most as you know, I've been through absolute hell and back the last few years, and I'm not having some little nobody who just wants to get his dick wet, leave me in a bar promising me the world and giving me witness instead, and make me upset, questioning what I could have possibly done wrong. Because I wondered for years what I'd done to deserve what I got in my previous relationship. Now, I don't have enough information to analyse Amanda, but that observation is typical of the self-flagellation of an empathic individual to wonder what they had done wrong with regard to mistreatment in a relationship. When instead I should be happy and looking forward to going away with my babies tomorrow. He's still on Tinder now, and we have a couple of mutual friends on here, so just in case any others have the pleasure of coming across him. I'll leave out the dick pics because I don't want to get banned over something so little. Accordingly, it would appear that he had allegedly been sending dick pics to her. Lack of boundary recognition, sense of entitlement, often a hallmark of the somatic narcissist. He was more Norman Price than Fireman Sam, you naughty little minx. Told you I was funny and I've definitely had the last laugh. Jake Mattox, or as I know him, Jake Lavish, love you babe. Edit. For everyone commenting on Sarah's post saying I should have messaged her directly instead of putting this post up, I did. I messaged her on Facebook and on Instagram, so it would appear that Amanda was seeking to warn the primary victim of this individual. I wanted it to be a conversation between us two, where she could ask me questions or ask for proof, etc. But I also made the mistake of messaging him and telling him that I told his girlfriend. and within seconds I was blocked off Sarah's Instagram and Facebook, as well as his. So I couldn't be sure that he hadn't gone onto her social media and deleted my message and blocked me, which it turns out he did. Nullification of threats to control. So without this post, she would never have known. As well as him still being active on Tinder today, looking for the next victim. Multiple girls have messaged me saying he's done the same to them. The owner of the bar we were in has messaged me saying he saw us there. The owner of another pub he was in last Monday has messaged me too. So I'm doing it for the girls. Now, at the time of me narrating this for you, 41,000 reactions have been given to that. The post has been shared 36,700 times. And you've seen a selection of photographs of Amanda and Jake, which she has freely put up on her Facebook page, along with some of the text messages that he had been sending to her, identifying at one point where she believed that it had slipped up. And she also messaged his girlfriend, Sarah, stating, "Hi, just to let you know, I've messaged you on Facebook in case it goes into your requests and you don't see it. I was on a date with Jake last night, said he was single. I've explained everything on Facebook, so sorry." And then also she sent a message to Sarah, which I think is on Instagram, stating, "I actually joked to him the other day because he said I'm going to my mum's. I'll message when I'm back." And I said, "You're going to your mum's? I thought you lived with your mum." And he said, "I meant my nan." So I said, "I reckon you've got a secret wife and you've slipped up," as a joke. But turns out I was right. He said you split up 9 months ago, that he still pays for your house, that you've moved on and he's met your new fella and the baby likes him. He had a completely detailed story of why you have supposedly split up. I was looking on my Snapchat, add friends, and a Jake Maddox came up as a suggestion. Typed it in on here, and there he was. "So sorry to message this, but I have kids and wouldn't like it done to me." And then she shows the message that she sent on Instagram to Jake Maddox, stating, "Hey, Jake Lavish," I'm using a false name, "I messaged your girlfriend. Hope you get what you deserve. You're absolutely vile." And there is a reply from Sarah stating, "I haven't blocked anyone." And then later on, "He had my phone earlier. It must have been him," confirming that it was him that had engaged in this behaviour. So there's plenty of pictures and posts about him and plenty of reactions to this, which includes an observation that has been written by somebody called Carolyn, who states, "To those saying about it being public and cruel, there is that, but without the original post, she'd," meaning the girlfriend, "never have known it's not a one-off. There's up to now 36 girls with evidence of his shenanigans over the last 12 months, and he slept with over half of them. That's what's horrific. She'd never have known, and he kept lying to her. Yes, it'll hurt, but she'd never have the support she's got right now from hundreds of people, likely thousands, which will help her to know she's not alone. And we've all been there at some point. Both men and women have this happen, and we support each other through it." Accordingly, we have here an individual that has shown repeated senses of entitlement, an absence of emotional empathy for the people that he's been cheating with rather, in that he clearly gets his way with some of them and then just dumps them, disengaging from these tertiary, secondary sources of an intimate nature. He's been repeatedly cheating on his girlfriend over a sustained period of time. He repeatedly tells lies, revises history, triangulates people, future fakes, goes through a whole range of narcissistic manipulations. It's highly likely that this individual is a narcissist, given the extent of the behaviours and the time period over which he has engaged in them. We see a sense of entitlement, a lack of emotional empathy, a lack of accountability, grandiosity, some haughty behaviours, various manipulative behaviours, poor boundary recognition, and various aspects of the narcissistic dynamic. It's highly likely that he's a somatic narcissist, given the way that he likes to present himself as well-groomed, and that his sole aim was to engage in having sex with these individuals as a major means of control and drawing fuel. With regard to his sub-school, well, he's not the most sophisticated operator, and I would discount him being a greater. He doesn't appear, in the way that he behaves, to have the appropriate indicators for that. He's likely to be in the mid-range category, but there were schoolboy errors that were committed, so he's not the most polished of individuals. One would need more information to make a firmer outcome, but he's probably likely to be lower mid-range. But as I state, one would need more information. However, this is a useful opportunity to understand the behaviours that what somebody would be described as a love rat is engaging in, which demonstrates that he's actually a narcissist, and that this individual who has gone viral has been outed with regard to his behaviours. He, of course, will undoubtedly be dealing with a very upset and irate girlfriend, intimate partner, primary source, who may wish to escape him. He won't want that to happen, and doubtless at this juncture, he is issuing various preventative hoovers to try and stop her from leaving him, as he frantically seeks to maintain control over her. He faces substantial risk, both in terms of her leaving him, thus ripping out his intimate partner primary source, and, of course, that he's being exposed on quite a scale. So there is substantial wounding that's occurring for him. I would imagine that he's concentrating his efforts at this juncture on preventative hoovers, trying to stop his intimate partner primary source from escaping him and leaving, that he is staying off social media, not answering anything that's been stated about him, and may not be aware of the fullest extent to which his behaviour is being exposed. Although I suspect that his girlfriend does know, and she's telling him that it's all over Facebook, it's all over Instagram, etc. He will deny what's been happening, and it's likely that he will be blame shifting. He will be saying that these people are lying, that he went to a bar and that this person has been coming on to him. Of course, he's going to have difficulties with regard to the content of the text messages that he sent, but remember, a less sophisticated narcissist is still going to deny it. It's likely that he'll suggest that he's been hacked, that old excuse that's trotted out by many individuals when they're caught out in this way. I should imagine that there would also be some aggressive blame shifting going on, suggesting that Sarah hasn't been putting out often enough for him, that's his girlfriend, and therefore, in the circumstances, is it any wonder that he's looked elsewhere? He'll probably be contradicting himself, on the one hand saying that he's been hacked and this woman came on to him, and then saying, well, is it any wonder that I've gone elsewhere? You don't do this, you don't do that. And of course, Jake is not going to accept that he is at fault in any of this. It'll be interesting to see if there's any update to this as to how his girlfriend responds to it, whether she states what she's done, whether he continues to seek out victims on Tinder. Some people have called him the witness Tinder swindler, although it doesn't look like that he's gone after people financially, as the more famous Tinder swindler did. Nevertheless, a useful opportunity to see a narcissist in action, and also to look at what may well be going on at the current time. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.